So you're thinking about moving to South Florida, and why wouldn't you be? Wait a freaking second. Full stop. Why wouldn't you be? That's what this video is all about. Is living in Florida really for you? Can you really even handle living in Florida? Today I'm going to cover 9 reasons why you might not like living in Florida, which will help you determine if living in Florida is really for you. Boom! Boom, we're live. If you're new to the channel, my name is Igoe. I'm a full-time, full-service realtor with an all-star team that services all of South Florida. I make content to showcase exactly what it's like to live in South Florida, and I'll occasionally add my opinion or thoughts on really anything I think will help educate or inform to help empower you to make the best decision for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. Now, before we get into it here, please say hello. I'm friendly. Where do you live now, and where are you thinking about living in Florida? Please start a conversation in the comment section down below and tell me what you think. Go ahead, ask away. Do you have any questions which I can answer that will provide you the most value? Go ahead and leave them in the comments and subscribe to this channel. Hit the thumbs up button, tap the bell. This way you never miss out on a new video. With the real estate market heating up and what feels like a mass exodus from really everywhere, now more than ever, I'm getting calls and texts from people up north and from all over the planet looking to relocate and move down to South Florida, which we love. So if there's ever anything in the world that we can do to help you, please call, text, leave a comment down below, and we will be happy to help. If you'd like to meet me, please click the link above, which I think is here, or maybe it's up here, and we will get you on the calendar right away. Or go ahead and give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, but whatever you do, get in touch with us because we've got your back when you're moving to or living in South Florida. All right, so let's dive right in here. And these aren't in any particular order, but they are all important to know when you're moving here. You must be aware that when moving to South Florida, if you're moving from really any place north of South Florida, is that you are going to lose seasons. Now, insert Miami Dolphins joke here. I'm kidding, but in all seriousness, spring, summer, fall, winter, they're gone. You're reduced down to 2 seasons, and it's kind of a coin flip for me as how to best describe them. So I'll go conventional and then a little bit more graphic. You have a very long summer and relatively short winter. More accurately, you can bank on a hot, humid, rainy summer. And of course, that includes hurricanes. You can also bank on a gorgeous, sunny, and cool winter with significantly less rain and much less or almost no humidity. I've lived here a long time. I love the summer. I love the heat, but it definitely takes some acclimation. You've got to get used to it. My mother, to this day, still can't step outside in the summertime without her thick hair getting frizzy due to the humidity. And I'm known to wear a suit to listing appointments. I mean, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. During the summertime, when I shower and suit up and get ready to make $1 million impression, by the time I walk from my office to the truck, I wait to meet clients, I'm drenched in sweat by the time I get to my vehicle. Every time. It takes less than a minute for me to walk from my door to my vehicle and I'm completely drenched. No, I'm not exaggerating for effect. It is brutally hot. I make the joke that it sometimes feels like you're breathing through a wet sock. It gets nasty. It's so hot and humid at times that in less than 1 minute of walking outside during the summer, I'll be completely drenched in sweat. And that's the truth. Now, fortunately, there's air conditioning everywhere, but it's definitely an adjustment and you've got to get used to it. But here's the upside. You never, ever have to shovel sunshine. Definitely have to learn to grin and bear the heat. Now, I've also got some incredible memories of trick-or-treating as a child in New Jersey. When I was a little kid, the Incredible Hulk was very popular on television. I wanted to be the Incredible Hulk and get all dressed up in one of those plastic costumes with a thin plastic mask, which convinced me that I was actually a superhero on a mission for candy. And in New Jersey, I never once thought about the heat while I was out there trick-or-treating. But when we moved to Florida and I dressed up as Superman, I got a rude wake-up call about what heat and humidity was really like. I mean, it was brutal. Now, I was definitely dressed up as the best Superman ever, but I was drenched in sweat instantly. Now, as a kid, the heat wasn't going to stop me from doing anything, and that still holds true today. If you're new to the area and you're unprepared for it, it is quite an adjustment. It's hot and it's humid, period. And to me, it's hot and it's awesome. But just to be clear, there's 2 seasons, summer and winter. Winters are phenomenal, but they can be really hot too. You can go to the beach, you can go swimming, you can jump in the pool on Christmas. Now, I love the cool weather, and once the temperatures drop a little bit, I really love to open up the windows in the house and get some cool breezes that come in. In fact, it's one of my favorite things. The great thing about Florida is I'm swimming on Thanksgiving, I'm swimming on Christmas, I'm swimming on New Year's. And if we've got a family gathering and take a group photo, you better believe that somebody is very likely coming in the pool with me. So if we're in a group photo and we're standing by a pool and I think that you can handle it, you're probably getting pushed in. The point is, yes, it's hot, but the trade-off is incredible. Winters are mild and they're gorgeous. You can go swimming or hit the beach literally any day of the year. And I'll take shoveling sunshine over snow every single time. The number 2 reason that you might not like living in Florida is the weather. Now, everybody talks about the weather in Florida, and I'm sure you've seen many videos about it. In fact, you can watch one of mine up here. Again, maybe it's up here. I always get that wrong. The weather in Florida is erratic. It can be raining on one side of the street and not the other. It can be totally blue skies, and 5 minutes later, completely out of the blue, a torrential downpour. I'll save hurricanes for later, which are obviously weather related, but that's its own topic as to why you might not want to live here. I live a very active outdoor lifestyle. I train for marathons and triathlons. I hike in the state parks. I love going to the beach. I love jet skiing. I love boating. I love playing tennis. I love playing golf. I love grilling outside by the pool, watching my kids swim or swimming with them. I love reading a book and watching the sunset. If you don't love the outdoors or outdoor activities, Florida is probably not for you. There's a lot of sun year round. It just feels much hotter in the summertime. During the summer, everything gets scorching hot. If I make the mistake of leaving my phone in the car during certain times of the summer, it will be shut down from overheating. And God forbid I get in the car too fast and my leg touches the metal from the seatbelt, I could easily jump out of the car through the roof. It burns so bad. It really does get that hot. The seats, specifically my leather seats, they get so hot that I've got to open the door and let the AC run a bit before I sit down or let the kids go in. Now, I suspect most people don't typically share this level of detail, but this is what you need to consider when you're moving here, because it's the truth. It's the end of September right now, and honestly, it's pretty freaking hot outside, which I love, but if you don't, Florida might not be the best fit for you. All right, the number 3 reason why you should not move to Florida is if you don't like weather-related power outages. When there are hurricanes, and there are hurricanes, you are almost certainly going to lose power. But to be clear, it doesn't take a hurricane to knock out power. We've got plenty of tropical storms that hit during the summertime, and a violent lightning storm or thunderstorm can easily take the power down for a few minutes or maybe even up to an hour. You will lose power and you will lose internet connection. If you work from home, it will be a real pain in the butt. FP&L, which is Florida Power and Light, they typically are very good and power will be restored very quickly. But during the summer, when there's a lightning storm, and there are many, it's not uncommon for a lightning bolt to hit a transformer and cause a power outage, which could take several hours for your power to come back on. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. And you could be without power for a few minutes or several hours. Seen worse, but it's rare. Now, some people will opt for a whole house in-ground generator, and that kicks on when the power is interrupted. So those people, they never lose power, and that's a great option if you can afford it. But even if you can't afford a in-ground generator, you must have at least a portable generator. Having a generator is a must-have for hurricane season. Whatever you do, don't wait until hurricane season to buy one, and don't even think about buying one if we've got a hurricane warning or tropical storm that's here. They'll be sold out. Now, the truth is they are noisy, they are loud, they let off a lot of smoke. They will make a long-term power outage livable. The number 4 reason you might not like living in Florida is the price of real estate. Now, Florida used to be a fairly affordable place to live. And comparatively speaking, for some, it is. We've got tremendous tax benefits, there's no state income tax, and we've got a homestead exemption that helps reduce property taxes, as well as offers protection from creditors, which can contribute to some shady people living here. I mean, O.J. Simpson lives here, so you can do the math. But OJ notwithstanding, we do have incredibly friendly, welcoming, warm people that live here. But everybody's heard the Florida man horror stories, which unfortunately get a lot of media attention and are also unfortunately true. But by and large, most people are friendly and welcoming. So Florida does offer tremendous tax benefits, but affordability, as far as housing costs go, it's been growing quickly and steadily, and it's really shot up in the last few years. But as far as home prices go, it's been growing exponentially, very fast, very steadily, and I don't really see that decelerating anytime soon. There's tremendous buyer demand, and everyone seems to want to move to Florida. Supply and demand 101. Very low inventory, very high demand. Affordability goes down, home prices go up. So a lot of first-time home buyers are priced out of the market, depending on how much they're making and how much they can afford. South Florida is the hotbed for hospitality and tourism, as well as the food industry. And those salaries don't typically equate to living costs in this market. So there are a lot of first-time home buyers that are priced out of the market. You've got big tech companies and financial services companies that have grown exponentially down here in the last few years, and those buyers are happy to pay a premium. So things are evolving quickly. And honestly, right now, it is incredibly challenging for first-time home buyers and lower incomes to be able to afford a home here. So many buyers are opting for townhomes, villas, or condos, which are way more affordable and allow for ownership versus renting. The last thing you want to do is be building your landlord's equity and paying his mortgage. So just know there are plenty of options out there, and no matter what you're looking for in a home or a lifestyle, we can help you too. I would love to talk to you if you've got any questions. Or maybe you just need some ideas on how to become a homeowner as opposed to renting. With interest rates as low as they are right now, you must at least consider it. As far as investors are concerned, it's a phenomenal time to invest at the right price because of the equity that we have in our homes and the price appreciation that we're seeing. Again, it's basic supply and demand 101. All right, so let's at least address the elephant in the room. What happens if there's a correction? To be aware, any correction that we have or any pullback that we have is not going to be driven by the same factors that it was last time. Lending practices are very different, and there's a lot more equity in the homes these days. So I do expect a pullback at some point, which is healthy, but bear in mind, this is the long game here. So you're buying something, you're holding, and over time, you're gonna get your equity back. That's just the way real estate works. So I'm not worried about a correction. I'm more concerned about the fact that there's very little inventory. But again, that's what the real estate game is all about. So I'm curious, are you finding this information helpful? If you are, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Do you have any other questions? Are you planning on moving here? Please drop a comment, hit that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm go out there and push my content in front of people just like you that are thinking about living in South Florida. And I want to help them all. Now, the number 5 reason you might not like living in Florida is tourism and senior citizens. If either of them bother you, Florida is not for you. Let's face it, we live in South Florida. Everybody wants to vacation here, and a lot of people want to live here too. The saying here is, we live where you vacation. Tourism is massive. It's a huge industry, and our economy benefits tremendously from it. But the truth is, it can be a huge pain in the butt when it's tourist season, which basically starts just after Thanksgiving and it stretches to Easter. So you've got 6 months of a lot more traffic, which can make a 15-minute ride to the beach 45 minutes. Trying to get from East to West Boca during season takes twice as long as it would during rush hour or really any other part of the day. One day you're driving and it's mostly Florida tags, and the next day it's New York, New Jersey, Canadian plates, and they're all on vacation time. There is no sense of urgency. So someone like myself that lives here and has places to go and appointments to be at, we don't want to be stuck behind these types of people. Nobody, and by nobody I mean me, wants to be stuck behind somebody who is driving super slow and on vacation time. It is super frustrating. Obviously, we've got a huge senior population down here in South Florida. Now, back in the day, South Florida, especially Palm Beach County, was known as Heaven's Waiting Room. And you might remember the Seinfeld episodes with Jerry's parents living in Del Boca Vista, which is not a real place.
Hey, how was Florida, huh?
Hi, we just bought a new place down there.
Yeah.
I know. We were looking at the brochure.
You what?
Why, you thinking of moving?
No, not really. Because if you are, you shouldn't. There's nothing available in that development. Are you telling me there's not one condo available in all of Del Boca Vista?
That's right. They went like hotcakes.
How'd you get yours?
Got lucky.
Are you trying to keep us out of Del Boca Vista?
But Florida is known to be a retirement destination, and while today's seniors tend to be a lot more active, there are still a lot of retirement communities here, which is tremendous for seniors, but again, it can be a real pain in the butt if you're driving behind them. They tend to go a little bit slower and react a little bit slower than perhaps the younger folks who drive like psychos. The truth is, my mom is pushing 80. She's elderly and she's a phenomenal driver. But when you're fast paced and you've got places to be and time sensitive appointments, it can get really frustrating. But it is part of living in South Florida. So if you can't deal with that, living in Florida is probably not for you. Now during the winter, we're gonna get a lot more people and it's gonna get a lot more crowded. Malls, restaurants, highways, airports, everything gets way more crowded and typically goes a lot slower. There's regular tourism, which is year round, seasonal snowbirds, and elderly people that are here all year round, but especially during winter, which can make it a little bit more difficult to live when you live here. It is something that you need to be aware of and know that you're going to have to deal with when you live in South Florida, because it's the truth. The number 7 reason why you might not like living in Florida is the people. Now I know I touched on this a little bit earlier and I found that you tend to find what you're looking for. But the truth is, there are a decent amount of fake people that live here. To be clear, there are lots of great people and nice families that live in South Florida too. And I'm blessed to have an enormous amount of friends that live here. There are many people and areas that have a lot of attitude. A lot of transient people that live in South Florida that never really put down roots in spite of living here. They always want to tell you about how great back home is or how much better it is there. And to illustrate that best, just go to a Miami Dolphins or Heat game and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Some people just lack hometown pride. Maybe it's because they're new to the area or testing it out, but there are some people out there that have a real attitude problem. Now here's the good news. As a 40-year resident who's lived all over Broward and Palm Beach County almost my entire life, I can honestly say it's a small but sometimes loud minority. Most people that I meet are welcoming and friendly. But full disclosure, there are D-bags everywhere. It's not just Florida specific. Now, I'm not exactly sure why that exists, but here's my theory. Since we live in South Florida and there's lots of sun and it's hot, there are very few places that are more perfect for walking around half naked. Cue the thong song. Maybe that's where the superficiality comes from. People want to look good. And a lot of people spend a lot of money to try and look good. There's a tremendous amount of plastic surgery that exists in South Florida, and plastic attitudes or plastic ways of being do exist. So if you can't handle that, Florida just might not be for you. Just be aware that exists, and if you're like me, you just avoid it. There's plenty of really nice, down-to-earth people too. You just have to find your tribe. But full disclosure, Florida isn't for everyone. The number 8 reason you might not like living in Florida is bugs and insects. There are so many annoying bugs that show up everywhere in Florida. Most of the bugs are harmless, but some do bite. And if you're not up for dealing with them, you won't like living here. You've got mosquitoes, red fire ants, palmetto bugs, carpenter ants, love bugs, wolf spiders, termites, deer flies. And I'm certain there's way more than that. But if I keep listing bugs, we're gonna be here all day. We have pest control and screen to essentially eliminate it at home. But on road trips, when we go to Disney or really anywhere, the car is usually covered in bug splatter and it's annoying. If you don't wash your car immediately and let it dry, or should I say get baked into your vehicle, it's definitely a problem. It can take your paint right off the car. So if you can't deal with lizards and you can't deal with bugs, you won't like living in Florida. Now separate to that is the ocean and the wildlife that exists at the beach. So the number 9 reason you might not like living in Florida is the beach. Now, when I first moved to Florida, I loved the beach and everything about the beach. But as I got older, that changed a little bit. I started to not like going to the beach, but more specifically, the sunburn that was associated with going there. Now, here's where I'll insert my public service announcement. Wear sunscreen. I almost never wore it growing up, and I fought my parents every time they tried to apply it. And because of that, I've got a lifetime of sun damage from playing tennis, soccer, and every other sport under the sun. So please, wear sunscreen, wear a hat, wear sun shirts, and most importantly, go see your dermatologist because skin cancer is very real. If you catch it early, it's also very treatable. Now, I've got a great dermatologist if you need it, and if you live here, you will need it. So anyway, back to the ocean and the beach. The Atlantic Ocean is magnificent, and I love going to the beach these days. I don't love paying for parking. Parking at the beach is not free, and during season, it can be difficult to find parking. So a perfect day for me is I like to go to the beach, I like to watch the sunrise in the morning, and then in the evening, I like to watch the sunset over the Everglades. The ocean is dynamic, it's peaceful, it's calm, it could also be stormy and violent. And now that I just said that out loud, the ocean and I have some similarities, minus the violence. But the water's incredible, it's warm and it's inviting. There are some less known irritants that exist in that water, like seaweed and sea lice, man-o-war, and jellyfish. If you get stung by one of these things, it is not pleasant. And since it's the ocean, there are all kinds of fish out there too. There are sharks, there are barracuda, and there's all kinds of other fish out there too. But they almost never bother you. But full disclosure, they exist. So if you can't deal with that, then Florida, or at least the beach, is probably not for you. Today, my daughter's home from school. As I'm making this video, I'm actually kind of surprised it's quiet. But she's home from school with a cold. But it's really a massive allergic reaction to the pollen that exists down here. So, fun fact, which you've probably never considered, is allergy season, which in Florida is always. The reason for that is we live in a subtropical area where there's always something blooming, which means there's almost always pollen being blown all over the place. So if you're sensitive to that, like me and my daughter, you should definitely stock up on Claritin. Now, all that being said, Florida is a tremendous place to live, but it's not for everybody. If it's for you, then please contact me immediately by clicking the link that's up here. And again, I keep getting the direction wrong. And we'll get you on the calendar right away. I hope you enjoyed my video. And if you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Give it a thumbs up and please tap the bell. This way you get notified every time I do a new video. Was there anything that I didn't cover that you'd like me to? Are you thinking about moving to Florida? Please let me know in the comments down below. We love living in Florida and suspect that you will too. But the truth is demand is so high and inventory is so low that if you want to live here, you must contact me now. Homes sell very fast. There's no time to waste. As a local expert, I typically know what's coming on the market before it even hits the MLS. And once it does, it's way too late to get involved. Over the last few years, we've helped hundreds of people buy and sell homes right here in South Florida, and we absolutely love it. And as 40-year South Florida residents, we know all the best places to fit your desired lifestyle and budget. So if you're even thinking about moving to Palm Beach County, Broward, or anywhere in Florida, you've got to reach out to me. Call, text, DM, send a carrier pigeon, a smoke signal, by any means necessary, because we've got your back when it comes to living in or moving to South Florida. And until next time, peace.